What's up, YouTube fans? Today we're going to take a look at the ThreeZero Defender of the Universe Voltron. So this is kind of the third masterpiece-ish Voltron that we've gotten. We got the Bandai Solo Jigoken to kind of start us off. Then we got the Blitzway, which is kind of a bigger scale. And then now we've got the ThreeZero. And I was kind of excited about this one because ThreeZero makes some really good figures, especially their action figure line, non-transforming. And this is the first kind of transforming, or I guess, more than just an action figure set. So I was curious to see, how it turns out. All right, starting off with number one, the black line here. We'll point out kind of the paint and detail. You get the nice silver across the front, gold eyes, red paint here, and then the gold, which we'll see more in the Voltron head. Red paint on the top there, gold around the edges, and then silver paint on the legs and the torso. Here's the back. The tail is painted yellow. I'm going to talk about the tail in a little bit. Overall, nice detail and paint on it, and we'll see more of this in the robot mode. He doesn't collapse or anything. And yeah, this is one of the issues. The tail's on a ball joint, and you really can't rotate it at all. If you rotate it any more than that, it falls off. It's very, very delicately installed. You can go up and down on this, but it's just an irritation. And there's other issues too. So let's get into articulation, but you'll notice the head is kind of pointing downwards. Well, that's because that's as high as it goes, and it's very, very strange. ThreeZero especially is very good at articulation, and I feel like this one is very lacking. So the neck goes up and down, the head itself goes down, but it only goes up to there, and this is due to the way it's sculpted. That's all you get. You can open up the mouth here. It tends to pull the face down with it, so you got to just push the face back up. But just the way it's designed, the mouth looks a little goofy. You can get his sword in here, or his weapon, but it's just held by friction. There's actually no groove or anything. There's nothing holding it, so you just kind of put it there in friction. It is nicely painted. It looks good, but it's not secure. So I don't love that, but there you go with the weapon. Come to the side. Let's set that aside for now. Shoulders will rotate around on friction. There is a click point that locks it in this position, but it will rotate all the way around. No ratchets, by the way. Friction at the knee, friction at the toe, and rotation at the toe. Coming to the back, you do have a ab crunch here, so you can crunch in line mode. And back up to there. The tail can go forward and backward like I showed you earlier. You can rotate it. You can go up and down a little bit, but as soon as you go too far, it pops off. The legs will go out to the side. You can rotate at the thigh. You have a bend at the knee. Again, all friction joints on this guy. Bend at the toe and rotation at the toe. You can get his weapons here, and you can store those. Put them here. And I think that does look good. Not sure why they use blue for the inside, but it does look nice. They're nicely painted weapons. And just to complete the look, we'll put the sword back in here. It doesn't like to stay, so you kind of have to just balance it in there. But yeah, there you go for Black Lion. All right, next we've got number two, the Red Lion. And again, all of the silver and the eyes are painted gold. A little bit of black on the nose there. Tail is painted, and then the midsection there. You have, I believe, the red on top might be painted. I'm not sure about the bottom. Yellow here is painted as well. Here's the back. I will say this one does feel kind of light, and it doesn't inspire confidence like the Bandai one. Also, these legs, you do have to kind of slide them out, and the joint is very tight on both the green and red line, so you kind of have to be careful. but you want to slide this outwards to get the legs out. But he does have some nice articulation. That neck can pull in and out there. Head can go up to there. And again, kind of limited, honestly, but up to there, down to there. It's a little bit tight. Mouth can open. He does have a cannon in there, so you can aim that. The legs are on a ball joint, so they'll go in and out on that. Out to the side. You have a rotation at the hip, rotation at the knee, rotation at the toe, and then a rocker. For the rear leg, same thing. Rotation here. You have a little bit of in and out movement there. Not too much. And again, these are very hard to pull out, so you want to pull those out gently when you do. Rotation at the knee. This one's kind of tight. Rotation at the toe, and then a tilt here at the toe. For the tail, you don't really get much, to be honest. It goes down, but that's really for the transformation. And then this is on a ball joint, but it gets up to there, down to there. I mean, there's not much there at the tail. So there you go. You do have a little hidden feature here. Of course, we can fold up that little weapon. That looks cool. You can take his weapon here, and there's a tab this time. I don't know why they never put a tab for the Black Lion. He deserves one. I guess because the Voltron head, but so you can put that on there, and then we can take his two weapons here. And those will just plug in to the side of the arms. Just little pegs. And yeah, there you go. All right, now let's take a look at number 3, Green Lion. And he has the same articulation as the Red Lion, so this should go a little quicker. But you do have the same painted details, the green, silver, black for the nose, gold eyes, and details there. Gray for the legs, silver for the legs. Same basic stuff. Same articulation on this guy. No reason to go over it again. You can open up this weapon here. I think that looks nice. If you open his mouth, you can get the little cannon in there. Pointed out. And let's take a look at his weapons. You get this. Weapons are painted nicely, I will say that. And this will just peg it to the top of the mouth. You can close that up. And then we'll take his two weapons. And these have a slightly different tab, so you know that they go with him, because they'll only fit with him, just based on how the tab is designed. And then this one. And I might have these on opposite sides, but you get the picture. There he is with his weapons. Looks pretty good. All right, next we have number 4, the Blue Lion, which is my personal favorite. And again, nicely painted. Blue, silver, gold, black, and then the green dot there. Yellow along here and on the back. This one does have more die cast in it. The legs, at least the upper legs, and then just not the feet, are die cast. The front legs too. Some of the body I think is die cast. Most of it is plastic, but this one does feel more weighty and more significant than all of the others, other than the yellow lion. And it does look good. As far as articulation, the head can go up to there, down to there. It doesn't really go any further, so what's stopping is this little piece here, which is actually the heel spur, but it stops right there. So kind of wish you could get the head down, but you can't. So you can get the head up, get the neck rotated up if you use that transformation joint. You can open the mouth. It looks like there's a movable cannon there. It is painted, but it's not movable, or at least I can't get it to move, even with a spudger. But it does have that cannon. Coming to the arms, you have a rotation here. Again, all friction. It does pull out, so you want to pull out the rear legs. And then these actually pop out a little bit further than how they are in the package. And these are spring-loaded, so that gets released when you bring the head down. Anyway, rotation there, rotation at the knee. You have a rotation at the foot, and then you have an ankle tilt back and forth. Rear leg, same thing, rotation at the hip, rotation at the knee, rotation at the foot, and then ankle tilt. The tail can go back and forth here. There isn't a lot on this, to be honest. It does go in and out, but very, very limited. Mostly just up and down. You do have the little pop-up weapon there on his back. I do think that looks nice. As far as his weapons, you can take the sword that will plug into the bottom, or the top of his mouth. You can take these weapons, and again, these are all keyed so you know which is which, right? They only fit with the given line that they're supposed to be on. This will plug in to his arm, and then this one will plug in into his arm as well. And there you go. There he is, all armed up. Very nice. And finally we have number 5, or the yellow line. And again, nicely painted and detailed. Blue eyes, silver, the black stripe there on the side and the top. Red paint there. Nice detail here. Silver legs. Articulation is identical to the yellow line, or blue line, so we're not going to go over that again here. You do get this cannon piece here that will articulate, so that's slightly different articulation than the blue line. I remember this sliding up on, maybe it was the original, I can't remember, but I remember this sliding up in some version, and I always wished it would slide up on the more modern day ones, but so far I haven't seen one that does. You also can open up the mouth here, and again you have the little cannon in there. We can take his weapon, this sword, and again plugs into the top of the mouth. Close that up. We can take these, plug this into the side. Once again, they're keyed, so you know it goes with this guy and not anyone else. And yeah, there you go. Yellow line. Looks pretty good. And there they all are in their line modes with all their weapons. It does look good together. All right, before we get these guys transformed, I just wanted to show you, there it is for a sense of scale. Next to the Ocular Max version of Steeljaw, he actually is slightly bigger in some dimensions than the green and red line, but that should give you a sense of size. Now let's get these guys transformed. I'm going to start with the black lion. Go ahead and open up these panels here. I'm going to fold the hands inwards, and if you, just so you can see, there's a little holding point there for you to like kind of grab onto it. Go ahead and fold that in and then close that up. Same on this side. Open that up, fold this in, close that up. We're going to rotate this all the way around so the red matches up, of course. And yeah, that tail loves to fall off. So I'm just gonna get this tucked away now. And we'll probably fall off again, to be honest, but very irritating. Alright, take the legs, fold those straight. Straighten up the toes. We're gonna straighten up this. I did forget to mention, there is a spring-loaded panel here, so if you did end up having the legs the other direction, those would hide in the robot mode. They're really meant for the line or the Voltron mode. Alright, so now let's take care of, put these wings up out of the way, and now we'll take care of the yellow and blue line. So go ahead and we can take the leg, rotate them back. We're going to lift up on this panel and fold it out. And then we can fold this back up and collapse it inwards. Same on this side. I'm going to fold this panel out, rotate the leg up, collapse it inwards. Nothing really new here, so if you've ever transformed any version of Voltron, this is basically identical. There's no surprises whatsoever other than the panels that cover down. There's a tab that's going into here, so that's about it. That's what the only unique thing I noticed on this guy. So get that lined up. Why is it not lining up? There we go. All right, and then we're going to take these front legs, those are going to collapse down like that. And then as we rotate the head to the top, that'll allow you to collapse these legs. And we can get this kind of situated so that it looks like he's actually standing. But there you go. There's one leg. So we're going to take this. We're going to come to the back here, open up this panel here. This is spring loaded, so if you push this in, it'll lock into place. To release that, there's a button underneath here. I might as well show it to you now because I'm not going to transform it back right there. So if you press that button, that'll release this. All right, so let's just put all that back. Fold this up. And now we're going to insert this. So this is spring loaded as well. So there's a little latch right there. It's going to catch onto that. And then we're going to lock this in place. And then to release it, you're pressing this red button. Just make sure you open this first and then press the red button to release it. I'll just set them down for now. Let's take care of the yellow line. And I just noticed the weapon, little part came off. And I'm going to talk about this at the end, but little things like this happen. So again, fold the tail in, fold the leg back, open up these panels, both sides. I'm going to collapse the legs like that, collapse them inwards, and then make sure that tab makes its way into the leg on both sides. Come to the front, and another thing, this weapon pulled this panel off the leg. Yeah, man. These are the kinds of things I'm noticing with this figure. It's just pegged in. It probably just doesn't have enough glue. So that's probably the issue. This is tabs. There's a tab right there. So if this happens to you, just make sure you line up the tab. And that's how you know the direction this goes. And I'll probably leave that in there so you guys can see the kind of issues I have with this. But close that up, collapse the legs inwards. And now this doesn't even want to stay. All right, we'll leave that off for now. And there's your next leg. So same thing, open up this panel, close that down. And you're going to insert. That latch is going to catch there. And then you're going to close up this panel. And to release again, open up the panel and then press the button. So arms. We're going to remove the tail. It's on a ball joint. Not my favorite. Rotate the leg back. Same thing. There's panels underneath that are going to fold out. Collapse the leg down. Push them in. These are the ones I mentioned. They're very hard to get out. So you just got to work at it gently. This doesn't really inspire a lot of confidence, to be honest. Like the feel of the joints, the feel of the legs is it doesn't feel premium. I'll say that. So you just want to be careful. Rotate this panel out first. Rotate the panel out, and then we're going to get this down, and that's going to fit in that groove right there and collapse inwards. You bring this back down, there's a tab right there. It's going to fit into the leg. This is on a slider. I will say this feels very flimsy, so just be careful with it. But then go ahead and give that a little push. It's going to tab into the side. All right, same on this side. Fold the leg forward, flip out the panel, fold the leg back. Another thing that likes to pop off, that leg. Collapse the leg inwards. Take this, that tab is going to go into there. Close up the mouth if you haven't already. You can extend here at the lower elbow. Take this, and I'll just show you up close. It actually has to go all the way up to there, and that's kind of what holds it. And it actually has a little, almost like a push point that once it goes past there, it does stay. I know they kind of held back the release of this figure because there was an issue with that joint. So they fixed it. It looks like it holds and releases properly now. All right, so same on the green line. I'm going to go a little faster so it's exactly the same as the red. Fold the legs back, open up the panels, fold the legs down, collapse them in on both sides. Make sure this tabs in. Same for the front. Fold out the panel, collapse the leg down, and then collapse it in. And I think this front one actually just sits like that. So that's probably how they want this one too. But again, fold out the panel, fold your leg up, collapse it in. That's going to sit down like that. And remember to slide this up and then tab it in. All right, we're going to extend this, insert the arm here, and then rotate down. And for the head, we're going to rotate the head down, open up the mouth, and the face usually comes with it, so you don't really have to do too much. I'm going to open up the ears. I'm going to leave this in because this is the third part that has popped off. I mean, just doing nothing really, just opening up the ears. So I'll put that back on there. That probably needs a little glue. And there is ThreeZero Voltron in robot mode. It does look pretty good. The proportion's a little bit odd in some places, but it's kind of that exaggerated, you know, anime style where it's got the bigger chest, bigger head, and then like a thinner midsection and thighs, and then kind of bigger legs again. Here's the back. Pretty good looking overall. Let's go over his articulation. The head is on a joint, goes all the way up to there, mostly for lion mode, but it works here as well. The rotation at the neck, it's very tight. It's not very fluid movement. It's not something I would expect from ThreeZero. It feels very clunky at the neck rotation joint. Yeah, it's not my favorite. The rotation at the shoulder, but it tends to rotate this piece too. So you have to hold this and rotate here. It is a very tight movement there. All friction joints, by the way, no ratchets anywhere to be found, which is very strange for ThreeZero. All right, the tail fell off again. I'm going to set it aside. We're not going to use that anymore. Rotation at the upper bicep. You have a bend here at the elbow. It's actually a double jointed elbow, but due to the sculpt, you can only get 90 degrees no matter how you articulate it. There is a rotation here at the lower elbow as well. So you can kind of get in different positions, or you can have that faced forward like that. Whatever you like. Bring the hand up. You can open up the mouth. You can extend the wrist, and you can go in and out movement on the wrist, which is basically just a lion head, but it does work here again. Why does that keep collapsing? The waist, you do have a side-to-side movement. You have ab crunch, which is actually pretty good. It's all the way down to there. And there's a piece back there to cover down. You don't have I guess you have a very, very small waist rotation. Like, what's going on here? This is not ThreeZero at all. Like, I've never seen ThreeZero not have a waist rotation. It's very strange. Coming down to legs go up to there. And one joint I forgot to mention here is the drop down hip. So if you pull this forward, it's on a ratcheted drop down hip. That does let you get the leg a little bit higher for a higher kick, and also back a little bit further. Up to the side, it doesn't feel good at all, but it goes up to there. Rotation at the thigh. Single jointed knee gets you 90 degrees. You do get ankle tilt just due to the lion. And actually, I forgot to mention, he does have this movement in lion mode, obviously. But ankle tilt this way. Pivot back and forth on the foot. And obviously, the head can move independently. And did I forget to mention the rotation on this head? Probably did. But here you go for articulation. And for weapons, of course, you get the blazing sword. It's got the tab here on the inside, so you can get that into the hand. And I'm putting it on this hand on purpose because the other weapon only fits on the green lion, so you have to do it this way. It's just a little difficult to get it, but once you get it in there, it does hold pretty nicely. And then same for this side, you can open this up. I haven't seen a way to rotate like the other Voltrons we've gotten. It looks like this is just fixed position, so basically you have to put it in the green lion's head. And you need to give it a firm push. It will lock in place there. And the final accessory here is this saw blade. It does spin, painted in silver and gunmetal. It's supposed to fit right here at the bottom of the foot where you open up this heel spur, but it really doesn't fit. And actually, the paint's starting to come off. So, I don't know what the deal is. They just didn't do the fitment right, but it's supposed to go right there so you can kind of kick up his leg. It's kind of awkward anyway, but that accessory doesn't really work all that well. And for a quick size comparison, there it is next to the Blitzway Voltron, which towers over it. And to be honest, I was actually planning to do a versus with this guy, but now that I've handled it, now that I've kind of come through the review, there really is no reason to do a comparison. I don't think it would win a single category except for the price. This is significantly more expensive, around $700. This is $300. But other than that, it wouldn't win any category. So there really is no reason to do a versus because it would just be a total blowout. So final recommendations on the ThreeZero Voltron. And I struggled with this score a little bit, but I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5, a partial recommendation. Let me explain why. So as far as the Voltron mode is concerned, it does look pretty good. It's got some nice paint and detail. The accessories, both the sword and the, I keep forgetting the name, the spinning disc, whatever, they look good. I do wish you could mount this in either side because you can only really put it on this one, but they do work. And all the weapons for the line modes also work and look nice as well. But where this kind of falls down is fit and finish, which is very strange. ThreeZero is known for their really high quality figures, really well made stuff, very well articulated things, and this one just doesn't do that. It doesn't feel well made. You noticed as I was messing with it, the tail kept falling off. I decided to just leave it off rather than messing with it. Some panels here and there were popping off. Now they're not broken, but it's just a lack of glue. It just should have been glued better. Little things like that. Just fit and finish things, having the swords fit in the mouth and, stuff like that, really leaves it, not quite that good. I think if you're looking for a Voltron of this scale, I'd recommend the Bandai Solo Chogokin over this. That one just feels better, looks better, overall performs better, got more accessories. And it is the original, so I do like that one better. I don't have it anymore, otherwise I would have compared it here in this review. But for me, Blitzway is king. It is the best Voltron ever made, and it's probably going to stay that way. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and thanks to the Chosen Prime for sending this out for review, and we'll see you next time.